So yeah, this video, I'm gonna show y'all basically how you get into court for free, y'all. And this video is for educational purposes only, and it's also for informational purposes, my folks. And especially for all my folks in the state of Indiana, you dig? All my Indianians, y'all might want to listen up because it's about to get real good. And I'm only speaking from my own personal experience, y'all, so it worked for me. You see what I'm saying? All my Indianians out there. And if you got a case that you want to bring against a police officer, a judge for that matter, or it could be just the individual that hits your car or does some type of harm to you, y'all, and you like, okay, look, I want to sue this person. I don't have the money to do that. Let me give y'all some good info. And as I said, this case right here is in federal court involving an officer by the name of Dakota Crimmings who took my Range Rover out of my yard while I was asleep. And we got him in federal court. And I didn't pay a dime to initiate this case. I don't have an attorney. I'm not a lawyer, y'all. I don't have a bar card. I don't work for the city. I don't work for the state of Indiana whatsoever. You know it's fucked up. You know who. So anyway, this is Article 1, Section 12, y'all, of the Indiana State's Constitution. And it says Article 1, Section 12 of the Indiana Constitution guarantees that all courts are open and every person has a right to a remedy for injuries to their person, property, or reputation through due course of law. Ensuring justice is administered freely, y'all. Y'all see that? Now, you might want to look up your state's constitution and see what yours says, but I'm pretty sure out there, y'all, yours is going to say the same thing that this says. And you see that, y'all, all my Indianians. Let's go over this again. That all courts are open and every person has a right to a remedy for injuries to their person, property, or reputation through due course of law. Ensuring justice is administered freely, completely, speedily, and without delay. It's a fundamental part of Indiana's Bill of Rights, ensuring access to justice and due process for all citizens, y'all. Like I said, I didn't pay a dime to initiate this case, even though I had to basically introduce this to the federal judge because he seemed to not understand where I was coming from when I was quoting this. Like I said, I've been putting in work, but I want to show y'all a receipt. This is just one of the receipts. As I said, I was going back and forth with the federal judge, trying to get him to understand where I was coming from. And this is one of his response. This is like the very first response that I got when initiating this case. As I say, when I introduced the federal judge into Article 1, Section 12. And this is what he said, y'all. He said on January 28, 2025, proceeding pro se filed this case in St. Joseph Superior Court. On April 10th, 2025, he then purported to remove the case, here citing federal question jurisdiction because he alleges violations of his constitutional rights. He did not pay for the filing fee or move for leave to proceed in forma pauperis. Accordingly, the court affords Mr. McKenzie the opportunity to file a motion to proceed in forma pauperis or pay the filing fee by April 28, 2025, and cautions him that failure to comply with this deadline, pay the filing fee, or file for in forma pauperis status will result in the dismissal of this case without further notice because the filing fee hasn't been paid. So, in which I told Damon R. Leahy, I cannot pay for a filing fee because harm has already been done to me. You see what I'm saying? So that would be a deliberate, act of me paying for justice. You see? And what did Article 1, Section 12 say? It said that guarantees that all courts are open and every person has a right to a remedy for his injuries to their person, property, or reputation through due course of law. Ensuring justice is administered freely. And y'all, in which I told Damon R. Leahy, due to the fact that Dakota Crimmings, public servant, came onto my property and took my property off of my property without my consent or warrant or exigent circumstances, you see, I could not pay for a filing fee. You see, harm has been done to me, Your Honor. And with y'all, I'm not gonna lie, like I said, in the midst of me doing this, I did make some mistakes. I made some mistakes. because I figured basically because I got granted a fee waiver in state court, it could get transferred into federal court, but that was not basically possible. And that's what he was basically telling me in the paperwork, either pay the filing fee or fill out a motion to proceed in form of papyrus. And this is the waiver form for the fees, in which I just told him that I'm not employed, I don't have any income, and that I survive through community support and barter, basically barter exchange. So I don't have any money to pay for justice, basically, because like I said, we're not going to pay when harm has already been done to us. So yeah, when you're filing your claim, y'all, make sure that you also submit this motion to proceed in form of papyrus. That's to proceed in the case without paying fees. Again, I'll show y'all this. It says the court has reviewed Mackenzie's complaint, which seems to attempt to state claims stemming from an alleged unconstitutional entry onto his property. Whether the complaint states a plausible claim must await later proceedings. It appears Mr. Mackenzie cannot afford to prepay the filing fee. For these reasons, the court will grant him leave to proceed in form of papyrus against the defendants. The court would usually direct the clerk to facilitate service, but Mr. Mackenzie hasn't provided any service information for the defendants, in which I already did that, y'all. Accordingly, Mr. Mackenzie must provide addresses for service of process by September 5th, 2025. Failure to do so may result in the case's dismissal for lack of service. In conclusion, the court grants Mr. Mackenzie's motion to proceed in form of papyrus, y'all, defers the payment of the filing fee, orders Mr. Mackenzie to pay the $405 filing fee from the proceeds of any recovery received in this case, and directs Mr. Mackenzie to provide service information for each of the defendants by September 5th, 2025. Well, yada, yada, yada. And like I said, y'all, this video is for my folks who want to get into court and don't know how to do that. We have not paid any fees on this case. $405 filing fee has been waived. Like I said, we are not going to pay for justice according to what? The Indiana State's Constitution, Article 1, Section 12. That's why, Mr. Leahy, and don't get me wrong, y'all, he gave me hell. Like I said, I had to get him to understand what the Indiana State's Constitution was, in which he had no clue, but I kept hitting him with it and kept hitting him with it until he's like, okay, let me look into this. He must have did his own research, and he's like, okay, yeah, this dude is right. The cop obviously took property. It's in the police report, so we have to, yeah, you got to abide by the law, dick face. And, you know, please don't block my video. Let me get off. Let me get off TikTok. Let me do me. And this is all my information, y'all. This is nobody else's information. So, you know, I'm giving it to you. And I want to say again, you know, this video is for who it pertains to, y'all. Just take it for what it is. Do your reading, do your research, look up your state's constitution on filing fees, and come back and let me know if I was lying.